Welcome, everybody. This is 2A Tuesday. We're back from a brief hiatus. I didn't even count the number of weeks that we were gone. Some of you maybe didn't even realize that we weren't here. Hopefully, everybody missed us, though. So welcome back, everybody. Hey, we did that thing where there's noise again. Okay, so that's fixed. All right, that's what happens when we have two computers in the same room. All right. So welcome, everybody. It looks like we've got a few people out in the chat room. I have not got this set up yet on gun channels, so we will, if anybody wants to at least share the link over there. I don't have it set up on my page just because the computer, as does sometimes happen, decided to rebel on me right before it was time to get this set up, and it had to be restarted, and this computer takes about 15 to 20 minutes after a restart to get back into the swing of things and let me actually do stuff. So we just barely got the links out, and then I think I've got everything set up. Hopefully everybody's seeing us live. It looks like there's about 11 people next to this little eyeball icon up here, so that's cool. If you are watching us on YouTube and you are not commenting, we can't see you. So we would love it if you would throw some comments in there so we know you're here and we can say hi to you. Normally, Sandhills Sweetheart is the one that takes care of saying hi to people in the chat out there, and then I say hi to people in the panel. So again, we're glad to be back. It feels like it was forever that we were gone, so we're super happy to be here. Things are maybe getting just a little bit less hectic. We're able to come back to the Tuesday night, so we're going to plan on keeping this going. It's not going to be a one-time thing. We should be able to get together and do this again every Tuesday night like we always did before. So that's pretty cool. We might have one more panelist joining us. I sent a link out, invite to our friend Brad from USCCA, and I didn't know, he wasn't sure if he was going to make it in or not, so we'll just save room for him for now anyway, and we'll say hi to everybody. Over here on the live chat side, looks like we've got Snob's wife was first, and then my wife was second. So the ladies are representing, and then Pickle came in. So yeah, the ladies are representing. Just kidding. And then let's see, Calaveras is here. Mike is here. What's up, Mike? We've got Josiola. We've got G Webs was the third thumb for 2A. Thanks for giving us that thumb, G. And let's see here. Gun-loving Grandpa's in the house. What's up, Buck? We've got Seven in the house. We've got Jason Stewart. We've got Dangerous Freedom. We've got, which is much preferable to Peaceful Servitude. Kingpin doing double duty along with Calaveras. D-Temp's out there. Rob C's in the house. It's moving. It's jumping as I'm trying to scroll. Boob Sweat's out there. Patriot in the Dark is out there. What's up, Miles? Sean Callanan is out there. What's up, Sean? Frankie's in the house too, along with Rob. G, you're an admin on my page. If you want to throw the simulcast up there, I'm not going to get it done now that we're going live. Feel free.
I put it over there.
Yeah, but actually on the Sandhill Shooter page, G Webs.
Okay. Yeah,
he can do that stuff. If you want to do that, G, that would be awesome. Oh, Sean is my friend Clint, the best name on YouTube that I've ever seen. Who else do we have out there? I think that's it. If I missed you, keep writing comments so that I can say hi to you as well. We've got our panelists. People keep dropping out. Apparently they can't add themselves, so I got to keep clicking here. Okay, I think we got them back. So we're just going to go around the horn here, let everybody say hi. First one that came in the chat was Mr. Squibload. I don't know if he's at a point where he can say hi, but hi, Squib. We will maybe.
I think I'm at a point where I can say hi. I'm just not at a point where I can find the mute button. Thanks for the invite.
Not a problem. Come on back when you've got when you're clocked out and you can actually join us.
Yeah, and keep these people from following me around.
Yeah, look out for that forklift guy. He tends to get you. Next up, we had Calaveras 32 Special in the house. The Tactical Pickle, the California Cucumber.
Hi.
Anything?
No, I think you got them all.
Okay.
and yeah, definitely have to clarify the tactical pickle, especially since there's one of the guys over there at Gear Report that's just pickle.
Really?
Don't want anyone to don't need his reputation taking a hit because of me.
Well, who's bigger? Should I call one of you Gherkin?
I have no idea. I've never met the guy.
All right. Well, we'll just leave it at that then. Next up, we had Kingpin joining us from the other end of the country. What's up, David?
Hey, oh man, I'm good. Thanks for having me. Glad to see you. Glad to see you back on 2A Tuesday.
Glad to be back. That's a cool avatar. I like that Kingpin. With the is that like a ray gun or what's coming out of the end of that?
This is actually a brand new logo, as everybody knows. The snob's wife and the gun snob's daughter made this for me and sent it to me like 2 or 3 days ago. So I was finally able to put it up, and it's just a bowling pin with a crown on, holding a gun in his hand, and
I'm just looking at the end of that gun, and it's just because it's a small little picture in the avatar here. I couldn't tell if there's like some sort of ray thing coming out of there, or if it's just like got a recessed target crown, or what it's got there.
Yeah, just like the circles on the end of a cartoon gun. Okay, I think it's pretty cool.
It does.
I mean, a 14-year-old girl made that, so
looks awesome. Even if a grown adult made that, and the fact that it was a younger person, that's even better. That's cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I'm really appreciative of it.
All right. And then last but certainly not least, right here from the great state of Nebraska, we've got the King Travis P11 reporting in.
Hey, man, how's it going? How's everybody doing tonight? Appreciate the invite. And guys, make sure you check out my YouTube channel, Travis P11. Lots of cool content over there. And also you can check me out on guntube.org and gunchannels.com. And I'm hoping I can get my podcast up and running again. It's going to be a different date and a different time, but I think you guys are going to like it. And hopefully we'll start up in about 2 weeks.
Is it going to be Tuesday nights?
No, I'm thinking Monday at 6, from like 6 to 7:30. Yeah. Thursdays are just tough for me. As we get closer to the end of the week, it's time for me to kind of start getting ready to go out of town, or we got moving going on and stuff. So earlier in the week is much easier for me. I got a lot more free time on Mondays and Tuesdays. So
makes sense.
As you can see, I'm right here. So yeah.
How is that move going, by the way?
Well, we got people interested in buying the house. We got people coming in 2 weeks to come look at it, and they've already kind of shot us an offer. And I don't know, it's fine. I've actually gotten rid of a lot of stuff in the house, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to stay. And sad part is I've got more stuff than my wife I have to box up, so that's not good. So I probably need to get started.
At least you're making progress.
Too much ammo. Yeah, I know, definitely. I got
never
plenty of
enough
time,
ammo.
Never enough ammo. Unless you have to move it, then it's too much ammo. So, yeah.
Well, you can move it one round at a time, and it gets lighter as you do that.
This is true. I should just be doing some marathon sessions at the range, maybe. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we didn't plan any specific topics tonight just because after such a long hiatus, we wanted to just be able to jump back in here and say hi to everybody and just kind of have a little bit of a reunion here, family reunion, as it were. So plus I wanted to make sure that StreamYard was going to work and I wasn't going to have any unforeseen bumps in the road. I won't say problems. We'll call them opportunities, right? Ooh. So we can kind of talk about whatever people in the chat or people in the panel want to get into, even just kind of some current events things.
Can I bring up a topic? It's political.
I don't know if we can do politics on this channel. Yeah, get in there. What is it?
Well, that's for I don't know. Just today I saw the notification, but so I think it happened recently. The California, case, for assault weapons ban that's being challenged, just got reassigned to a new judge, and it's the same. It's the same judge that gave us Freedom Week, earlier this year. Nice. By saying the high cap magazine ban was unconstitutional. So no guarantee of which way it's going to go, but that at least gives a little bit of hope and light at the end of the tunnel.
Very true. Very true. All right. Well, that's cool. I would like to see that. I would also like to see SCOTUS just keep on track with seeing or hearing the case that was, I don't even remember the exact name of it now, but the one from New York that deals with people in New York City having the right to take their firearm outside their home.
Oh, you mean the one that the Senate is telling him if they don't vote the way the Senate wants them to, they're gonna modify the court so they can stack it?
Yep, the one that basically, here's the deal, is the Congress is worried that the Supreme Court might actually find that the Constitution still holds water. And so, yeah, the Senate has basically said if the Supreme Court reverses the or rules that the New York City's law is unconstitutional, and that not only do we have an individual right to firearms for self-defense, but we also have an individual right to bear these arms outside of our homes in public. That's what the case is actually about. And the first thing that happened when this got kicked up to the Supreme Court was that New York decided, hey, let's just back this down a little bit, and we'll just change the laws and make them a little bit more lenient. So there's no need for the SCOTUS to actually look at this, because we all know that if the Supreme Court makes a ruling, it becomes law, and it becomes the law of the land, not just New York State, but the entire United States. So that was their first step at trying to dodge that. And SCOTUS said, no, I think we're going to go ahead and keep moving forward with this one, because this actually does need to be looked at, and the case needs to be heard. So hopefully the justices don't waffle on this one, and they all will, if they don't all agree, at least they'll vote at least 5-4 to hear this case so that we can have a ruling. Now, of course, we're taking the chance that they're going to rule that New York is doing nothing wrong, and that we don't have an individual right to carry our firearms outside of our homes. And if that's the case, then you're going to see a lot more jurisdictions start cracking down and revoke concealed carry or open carry and all that other stuff. But I don't see that happening. If that was going to be the case, you would think the court would just not hear it and leave it alone. So I'm optimistic.
I'm also afraid if they do rule in favor of gun owners on that one, that they're going to have to crack a few states over the head with an awful big stick in order to make it go through.
I think that if SCOTUS rules that way, that there will be a few 2A organizations, statewide, state level 2A organizations, hopefully, that will take up that torch then and raise enough money to file that suit so that the state laws get overturned, because of course the Supreme Court or the Constitution does rule over the states on a lot of these issues. So hopefully that one will actually be heard, and they will rule the way that we all would like them to. So yeah, that would be awesome. I just read, and I know this is not news, I did just read the article today that the shooter in Philadelphia, the drug lord or whatever he was that barricaded himself in the building, and the cops got ambushed in their hallway there in the kill zone. Turns out that guy actually was not legally able to possess firearms.
So
color me surprised.
So basically, I know, right?
That is un-American.
Basically my take then. Since the guy was not legally able to possess firearms, and that shooting apparently never happened, because he couldn't have guns, so he couldn't have shot anybody.
Yeah, fake news.
It must be fake news, because he had at least 6 prior arrests, or at least 6 prior convictions, and multiple arrests. Some of them drug related, a lot of them either firearm related or aggravated assault, things like that. So this guy already couldn't have guns. I think that the only solution at this point is to pass a law that says that the people that can't have guns can't have guns.
I do want to take issue with your statement of drug lord and drug. the proper term is pharmacist. Thank you.
Oh, excuse me.
Obviously, this guy was a professional medical doctor.
He was an herbal technician.
Was
I
Yeah,
believe.
just an unlicensed herbal technician. Is that what we're going to call him now?
Undocumented.
He was
Undocumented
There you go.
pharmacist.
Killmonger? Is that okay?
He was an undocumented pharmacist, is what he was.
Ah, okay.
You know, I don't support your theory that it didn't happen because he's not allowed to have him. I support the theory that background checks of any sort don't really make a difference because criminals don't care about the law. I think your theory is a little bit, biased, and I'd like to introduce my theory to the panel. And
I don't know. That's crazy talk because what we need is stricter background checks. I heard that on the news. We need stricter background checks.
Strict universal background checks.
In fact, most Americans think that we need stricter background checks.
Hey,
I
you know
heard
what?
that
If you think that is crazy talk, then I tell you what. You want to be Mr. Tough Guy? Go ahead and pick up the phone and you call some alphabet agency and you tell them I'm a danger to myself or others. I double dog dare you.
Double dog. Well, at least it wasn't triple.
I know.
I went right for the double dog, though. I kind of skipped a few, which is
Go put your tongue on that pole real quick and see what happens.
it's a breach of etiquette, but I felt it necessary to go there.
Point of personal privilege. Point of personal privilege.
Oh God.
Can we please not refer to body parts as tongue or devices in the schoolyard as pole? Because that offends me. Thank you very much.
So flesh appendage and wooden plank. Is that better? Okay.
It is. Yeah, I don't know yet, but wow, there's been some crazy stuff happen since the last time we all got together. Anybody that didn't know what the point of personal privilege comment was, you need to go search after 2A Tuesday's over. Hang out on YouTube. Search the Democratic Socialist Convention. You cannot make this stuff up. And the worst part about this is those were not actors. Those were real people.
Those were human beings.
Those were
really
real. Now here's the worst part.
Human beings.
Those were real voters. Because these aren't apathetic people who just don't care or don't want to know and don't watch the news because it's easier to ignore it. These are the people that actually went to the Democratic Socialist Convention. So I know that these are voters.
Sad part is there was a lot of people there. That's a scary number of people that can vote. All right. If they get any kind of turnout like that at that convention, imagine a real issue that they feel passionate about,
Although
but when Trump went to New Hampshire, it was packed. So I think there's people that are passionate on both sides right now because there's some people that don't want to lose what they feel they work for, and other people that want to get it back to the way they had it. So I think there's going to be a lot more voter turnout this time around. I think they're really going to be pushing them commercials and everything else a lot harder than they have. And the organizations will be in there asking for your money to help back their guy, and it's going to be a personal decision for everybody.
I also predict that there's going to be different organizations, not necessarily political specifically government organizations, just organizations in general that are going to push hard on the get out the vote and, if necessary, bust people into the polling facilities so that way they have the opportunity. So, and that's on all political sides. So I think the turnout this time is going to be unreal.
I hope so. And I hope it's not just on the side of the left, because I think there are a ton of people that are being motivated to vote on the left, and I think there's been a lot of call to action there. We always seem to get that call to action on the right, and then for some reason we still get a ton of people who just don't care. And I don't think that it is the passionate left or the passionate right that we have to worry about. I've said this many times on a lot of issues. The maybe 10% on each end that are super passionate, they're always going to vote for the left or for the right, whatever the case is. Those people aren't who we're trying to reach, but there's 80% in the middle who just are tired of the ads. They're tired of the mudslinging. They don't care They don't go vote. They don't think their vote matters. They don't think it makes a difference. They don't understand how the Electoral College works. They think that because we have an Electoral College, that their vote doesn't matter, and so they don't bother showing up. And these are the folks that we just need to get some truth out there.
Well, Electoral College, that's where which states are division per how the votes come out, and which states are all or nothing?
Every state is all or nothing except for 3, in my knowledge. Nebraska and Maine are the 2 states that break their Electoral College votes up by district. So we're one of 2 states here in Nebraska where we have 3 congressional districts, and we have 2, of course, 2 Senate seats. So we've got 5 Electoral College votes, right? But our Electoral College votes go to each district's winner. So if like Omaha itself is a district because it's got almost half the people in the state. So if the Democrat candidate wins that district and the Republican candidate wins the other district, then they're going to get 1 Democrat vote and 2 Republican votes in the Electoral College out of Nebraska. And I don't remember how the Senate part works. Every other state, whichever state wins the popular vote in that state, gets all the Electoral College votes. I think it was Oregon that just changed their laws to where whichever candidate wins the national popular vote gets Oregon's Electoral College votes.
Okay.
So
yeah,
basically,
that's right.
Oregon has taken themselves out of the Electoral College in that sense, because then they want to just go with the popular vote because their candidate didn't win this time.
That's right. In California, just recently passed anyone on the ballot, on the national level who hasn't released their tax returns for public viewing, cannot be on the the presidential ballot here.
Yep, because they're thinking that that's going to somehow, I don't know what the point's going to be. If push comes to shove, then Trump will release his tax returns. We're going to find out that he's not.
California goes 55, it's 55 votes, and it goes blue every time. So that's why I don't know if he really should even bother if California is the only one with that law right now, which is being challenged. But that's where if it's the only one being with that law, I'd say, if I was an advisor of him, I'd tell him don't worry about it, since, he's got no hope in good family-friendly way of saying this. Hope in not very good place of winning any of those votes anyhow.
Obama doesn't release his birth certificate. Trump doesn't release his tax records. Nothing happened. McCain releases his medical records, and he loses every single. How many times did he run for president and he lost? So I don't know. I don't know if I could advise a candidate to divulge something, but I think the people, the citizens, have a right to know once they're in office, they have a right to certain information, as long as it doesn't violate national security. I really don't think it was the country's business what, Good Time Willie was doing with Monica. That was between him and her, or him and his wife, not really him and the whole country, because that was kind of a personal thing. But
I agree, except for the fact that the stuff that happened in the Oval Office is the country's business.
I mean, that's where he lives, so it's kind of,
No, it's not. He did not live in the West Wing.
The guy was the president. Everything he does is the country's business. Let's not make a joke about
he
that.
still is entitled to privacy, but not in the Oval Office. That is not where he lives. That's where he works.
And I'm not sure that I would be behind a candidate or a standing politician having to release their medical records because of HIPAA laws. However, certain other things like taxes or anything that's business related that would be public record anyhow, or has something to do with the government. If it's a government related document, I could see that. But some other stuff is just kind of like, whatever. They're people like us. They don't want to believe it. They think they're better than us. And a lot of people put them up on a high pedestal. I mean, you should respect the office, but not necessarily the person in the office. But they're people they have problems like us. It'd
There's
be
a
nice
lot
if we
of
could get a candidate that or somebody in there that would actually say, I'm a normal person, like come up there, jeans and a t-shirt in front of the podium, and be like, I'm a normal person like you. I got these sorts of problems, those sorts of problems, you know. But no, it's been so long since we've had somebody who is of the people. I mean, the closest thing is Carter, and that was a disaster. So,
well, that's like I was getting ready to say. That's where so many of the people that have been in office for the last multiple presidents, they went from college right into public office or had very little time in between. So that's where, unless they had backroom deals that they weren't supposed to have, there wasn't a whole lot to really look at in their records that wasn't already public record. So, I mean, that's versus our current administration was private citizen right up until the election. So, I mean, that to me falls into a slightly different category.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree that even the president of the United States deserves some privacy. But like I said, what happens in the Oval Office, that's when he's actually at work. And, you know, if you're a salaried worker, then you don't, you're always on the clock because you don't punch a time clock, right? But when you're at home, what happens is none of the company's business. When you're at a company function, in a company vehicle, on company property, or, you know, actually at work, then the company does have a right to know what you're doing with their time that they're paying you for, right? So I think the country has a right to know what goes on in the Oval Office because that is the time for which we pay the president. What he does when he leaves the office and goes into the rest of the White House, the living quarters, that's whatever. If he wants to share, you know, what he eats for supper or whatever, that's his business to share. But we don't have a right to know, you know, what color of socks he wears on Tuesdays or things like that. But the stuff that he does when he's in his office at his desk or on official, you know, U.S. president business, then yeah, we all have a right to know that stuff because
yeah, but I mean,
we're
he was
paying him to do the
multitasking,
job.
so it's not like it affected his work. He still got things done.
Oh,
He was
apparently so.
multitasking.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got to know how to spin it, man.
Apparently he knew how to spin it. Okay. Well, anyway, it's not a job I would want.
There are all these younger people listening that are going, who are they talking about? What are they talking about?
Yeah. What are you talking? The 90s? That was like 100 years ago.
You're
Pretty
so
much,
old.
yeah.
Here's the problem. Or not the problem. Here's a problem I have.
I'll be straight up honest with you guys. I remember hearing about the Lewinsky thing at, you know, like after, like, because most of that investigation was after he was already out of office. I remember hearing about it then, but I'm not old enough to remember his presidency.
I was in high school back then, and I remember thinking, man, she's kind of hot, but that's all I could. That's really all I knew at the time.
Man,
Well, you're in your 13, man. It doesn't take much. I mean, you know, let's be honest here.
Yeah, I can't say that now, but
You don't have
that's
standards
really
when
all
you're
I
13 years
remember at the
old. You're
time.
like,
I didn't know
look at
exactly
that
what
blue
was
dress.
happening.
Oh,
I just thought that when he said I did not have sex with that woman, I thought he was pointing at Hillary. So,
Speaking of blue dress, that's where I saw it floating around social media the other day. Actually, Clinton, you know, or Bill, you know, lounged out on a seat with that friggin' blue dress on. I don't know who made the image. It's seared into my mind at just a matter of 2 seconds I saw it. And
do you think you could find that and then we could put Night Strike's face on it instead?
oh my God.
No, I'm not getting involved in that one. I don't want to see that photo again, first of all.
And the Sandhills Shooter channel just got removed from GunTube.
Oh, his channel was deleted without any warning whatsoever. No strikes.
Night Strike's not going to see this. We're on YouTube. He doesn't come here anymore.
Well, once word gets back to him, you know, it's. I don't know, man. You're on your own for that one.
Well, hopefully he doesn't come to Nebraska and just whoop my butt. I'd be very embarrassed to admit that I got beat down by a man in a dress.
Well, that's where you're fine until the bayonet charge. Just avoid the bayonet charge.
Well, what I'm really worried about is he's going to whip the slide off of his 1911 and cut me.
Here, bayonet
that was
charging with my
mainspring
most,
housing.
you got like a
Mainspring
6.8
housing.
with that
Mainspring. Well, I don't, either way, apparently there's some sharp edges on his pistol, and he wouldn't have to shoot me. We'd still have knife violence or mainspring housing violence, as it were. So anyway, let's see if we can put this one back on the tracks, huh? What's been going on out in the chat? I haven't really been looking that much. Vandal's in the house. What's up, Vandal? Is it like noon? Hey, how's the job search going, Vandal? Did you come up
Last
with
I heard,
something?
he had started a new job, I thought.
Really? See, I'm so behind. We need to connect more on, because I'm friends with Vandal on Facebook. Like the actual, I'm friends with Jared on Facebook. Hopefully that's okay that I can say that.
You mean Jared from Subway?
No, not that Jared.
Oh, okay. I know.
No, different kind of Vegemite sandwich Jared is what I'm talking about. That's an old song too. I'm kind of dating
Men
myself.
down under. Yeah, men without hats.
He just smiled and he gave me a Vegemite sandwich.
Mm-hmm. And he said,
Yes, he did. Okay, so what else is happening? Anybody else have anything they want to talk about that we haven't already beat to death in other live chats?
oh, has anybody decided to go ahead and purchase some firearms just because of the current political climate? I'm not saying panic buy, but maybe decide to finally pull the trigger, so to speak, on something they've been considering buying, and maybe now they decided they want to go and get it.
I wish. That's for no extra funds at the moment. It's all all funds right now are spoken for.
That's right. You put a big down payment on an itty bitty diamond ring.
That's right.
Yes, good song.
How the song goes.
I considered it. I considered it because of things that have happened in the past. There's been some false alarms, and then again, there were some things where, it was a good idea to buy stuff when I bought it because it's gone up in value or it's gotten harder to get or something like that. But
yeah,
I don't want to downplay any situation where somebody thinks that it might be worth it to borrow the money, put it on a credit card, or use up some savings because historically things have been grandfathered on a federal level. On a state level, maybe not, but I mean, if it ain't registered, how are they going to know you got it? I'm not encouraging anybody, but don't comply. And it's really a matter of practicality. I've had so many things going on lately. I haven't been able to make a purchase, and I've really had to I've had to really think about what I might do with some extra funds. And right now, I think I'm just going to put it into hunting this year. And for what I'm going to be spending on that, I probably could pick up another rifle or handgun or something. And I'm not. And I thought about it and I said, well, if they do another AWB or if they do universal background checks or something else like that, I don't think it'll take effect right away. It could take up to a year before the law. And in that time span, people are going to go nuts buying and selling and all kinds of stuff. And if something like that took place, maybe I just accessorize what I've got and be content with it, unfortunately. So if you don't have very many firearms in your collection and you have a way to get a hold of money, it's just not your top priority. You might want to move it up the line on priority and put yourself in a little bit of debt now. Those who would give up a little bit of debt later are sacrificing an opportunity to get a firearm now and deserve neither.
Again, I think we can all pretty much agree that firearms just in general are a fairly sound investment. You're not going to lose much of anything on those unless you have a state that has some sort of a confiscation. There's a forced buyback or something, but and that's kind of an easy way to justify it, especially if you're in like marriage or something where firearm prices or purchases always kind of come up. And I'm just like, well, if you ever got to get rid of it, you're going to get your money back on it. So most
of them do. I mean, if you bought a $1,200 AR in 2013 because of a panic buy, and now it's that, those are the few things that. But then again, it might go right back up to $1,200 again.
I'm saying like you bought it within the last 4 years, maybe when prices have been kind of at an all-time low. I'm thinking
all
like
the people
lowers or just
panic bought in October of 2016. That happened a lot too. I was talking to a guy I think it was in Cabela's, not long after that. And he said, yeah, there was a guy that came in and bought, I don't know, half a dozen or so AR rifles and got a decent price on them, thinking that Hillary was going to win the election. And then when Trump won, he wanted to return them. And they're like, that's not how this works.
Yeah.
You can go sell those. But he was expecting that he was going to, flip them and double his money on each rifle or whatever.
Yeah, that's happened with some of the panic buys before. You go to the gun show and everything's marked up through the roof, or people start buying lowers like crazy. And then if it doesn't work out that way, they have trouble unloading them.
Yeah, that's, and you know what, you take that chance. I mean, that's just investing, right? Sometimes you make a mint, and other times you just lose your butt because you made a poor investment. So, that's it doesn't always work, but I mean, if you know what you're getting, and like Squib said, get some stuff that you know is going to appreciate, even if there's not a panic, then guns really are an investment if you don't only buy the cheapies, the Saturday night specials and stuff like that, right?
There have been things that I bought 20 years ago that have gone up so much more than what, and I realize, pay has gone up and other things like that as well. But the price difference in 20 years is like, dang, I'm glad I got that. But then, there's other things, like I was like the last one to the party to get an AK, and I paid more for my AK than probably everybody else. So, I mean, you snooze, you lose.
Feel like buying an SKS or buying a Mosin right now. If you're gonna buy them, get them now because they seem to keep going up in price.
Yeah, Mosins are.
Don't feel bad about that, Squib. You're not the last one. I still don't have an AK, and when I get one, I'm guarantee I'm going to pay way more than I should have for
it. Yeah. Yes, you are over there.
Well, no, I mean, I don't feel bad about it in the sense that, it was worth the money to me. But I could see somebody else going, man, you should have bought one like 5 years earlier. And I can't argue with you on that. I should have. And and like Calaveras was saying, you got other things going on at the time, and you kind of have to put that on the back burner. You got to take care of other things first. So when you can impulse buy, do that. That way you just build a collection that way, and you just deal with it later.
Well, and it's sometimes even if it's not an impulse buy, then later on you decide that maybe what you thought was going to be the best decision in the world turns out to not always be the best. And then you've got an option, you've got, I don't want to say disposable guns, but guns in the collection that are maybe expendable if you need trading stock, right? Or if you had to sell something off, then you've got a couple that you can part with, and they're not going to, tear at the heartstrings just because you had to sell them off, right? So it's not always a bad idea. We're still trying to decide if the Walther that we bought for Sandhills Sweetheart is going to be the right carry gun for her or not. We still got to get the Talon grips on it and go shoot it at the range. I don't know. I like the gun, but it's kind of harder to hold on to than I expected it was going to be without adding something to the grip for a little bit of extra traction. So we're going to give it an honest run with Talon grips and see if that kind of tames it down and holds it a little bit steadier in the hand. But she's way more comfortable and way more accurate with the Glock. And so if that ends up being what is going to be the best thing for her, then we'll dump the Walther and pick up another Glock for me. So that because I still love mine too. I don't see any harm in having two of those, and we both have the same gun. Especially if we're both carrying the same thing, then we can, if anything bad ever happened, we could share mags and everything else. So I don't see a downside to that argument. If the Walther ends up being, she, decides that that's going to be the better way to go, then we'll keep that, whatever we end up doing. But what I'm saying is, if we end up needing to pick up another Glock 19, then we've got that Walther as trading stock. So we just keep it and add another one to the collection. We'll see what the finances look like at the time if we ever need to cross that bridge. So, but we've got lots of options. I'm kind of in the market right now, I think, for like a 1022, something to that effect. Testing these red dot sights that I've had sent out for some T&E. It's really hard on the old pump action Savage to try to bench them, because once I get it all settled, then I have to take it off the bench to pump the forearm.
Oh,
So having something either bolt action or semi, I think would be the better route to go, and I could really dial that in a lot better from a bench rest. But I haven't released it yet. We did a little bit of shooting here a couple weekends ago, and somewhere between 10 and 15 yards, I was shooting empty little Agula mini shells, or Federal's got these new ones out now too that are inch and a quarter or something like that. About the same size as Agula, and there were a bunch of those just empty holes laying on the ground out at the range. So I picked some of those up and put them on the top of the target backer and stepped it off roughly, 10 or 11 long paces, and I was shooting those off the top of that with the latest red dot. So we can do okay offhand. I think that we could really do a better test benching it, and I think that a different rifle maybe would make that a little bit easier. However, how do I know whatever I buy is going to be as accurate as the one that I have too?
if you could get yourself a nice, like a semi-auto Savage, or like you said, a 1022 with the pick rail up on the top already installed, that'd be about the best way to go.
And that's what I want to be able to just actually mount an actual full size rail right on it instead of the 22 rail or the dovetails, which I've got. I've got the adapter, and again that raises the rail about that much higher off the receiver of the old pump 22. So I had to buy a comb riser as well just to be able to shoot it right.
Yeah.
So just to shoot red dots on my rifle, I had to buy a rail adapter and a comb riser. So it looks kind of dumb, but once it's dialed in, it's a nice sight. I got to get that video finished up and get it released. I look like a hot mess because it was about 95 degrees out at the range, and I think it was about 350% humidity. So I'm just a sweaty mess. But as long as people focus on the sight and not on the guy shooting the gun, then we'll be okay.
So you're the only guy on the panel here that I think is lacking in a 1911 in your collection. I think it might be time you start considering one of those.
Oh, I've been considering for years.
Okay.
The problem is there's always something else that is a higher priority. So up until the point where some rich uncle passes away and leaves us millions of dollars, I don't see that we can just up and I want one of everything, eventually, but for now. And I can't justify just buying it to buy it. If I could do that before a 1911, we'd add the M9A3 Beretta. So
yeah.
Patrick has a question. What Walther did we get? What Walther did we get you? Can't trip her up. She doesn't know gun models that well, but she knows what she has. It is the PPQ M2. Sweet gun, sweet shooting gun. I don't know. It's a little more top heavy than what the Glock is, so it's got a little bit more felt recoil. I shouldn't even say felt recoil. It's got a little bit more felt slide travel. If I can make that distinction, if people know what I mean. So it's not like there's any more actual recoil as far as what you would call kick to the pistol compared to like the Glock 19, but you can definitely feel the muzzle flip wanting that muzzle flip impulse is stronger, I think, on the Walther. Maybe that's how I should say it. It's a great pistol. Talon grips make a huge difference for me too, Patrick. I've got them on the Glock. I've got them on the Shield, and we've got them for the Walther. Although I may or may not have misplaced those. So once I figure out exactly where those got placed, then we'll get those installed, and we might actually make a video of that too, and do a little bit of I don't remember what the term is, where we just speed it up and we show the process really, really fast on the video.
Time lapse.
I think that's it. Not the super slow-mo, but the opposite of
Yeah.
that. My phone's got that option on the camera, so we might play with that a little bit and do a little bit of editing and splicing and throw some of that in the middle there so that people can see the whole process, but you don't have to watch a 15-minute video when really all you need to know is 5 minutes worth of stuff. So yeah. Hopefully we can get that done sometime, but we've got to figure out where the heck we put them. And I have no idea where they got moved to. I've torn this desk apart, and I'm 100% sure that it's nowhere in or around my desk, which I'm not sure where they would have gotten to then. It's fun because they're just on a flat card. They're kind of, I don't really have anything here to compare it to, but you just peel them off a backer, so they just come flat in a little cellophane wrapper, and they don't really look like grips until you get them installed. So mind lapse, TPC, that's exactly what happened to me. Mind lapse, that's what I had. But yeah, Patrick says that's got a great trigger. It does. That's got an awesome trigger. Although I'm not opposed to the Glock trigger either. Squib and I have had this talk. I'm not necessarily a Glock fanboy. I do have one of these.
He's a fanboy.
I do have one of those, but that's because I won the patch batch. I didn't actually buy that from Yankee. So you can say that I've drunk the Kool-Aid if you want to say that, but I haven't done anything that actually Squib gets annoyed by either. As far as taking a Glock and then replacing every single piece of it except for the frame itself, and then modifying the frame too with stippling or whatnot. It's had nothing done to it other than cosmetics. Like I changed out the backplate because I got one from Millspin. If you haven't been to millspin.com, you need to check those guys out. Travis put up a video when we talked to them at Tulsa a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. It's milspin.com, which I think I can just throw out here in the chat.
Cheap plug. I also put up a video that showed the backplate after I installed it. Did you do one also? Did you do a backplate video too yourself?
Not a video. I should just.
I thought maybe you did. Yeah.
I should just do a video of that. Just pop the thing off of there, and I've got two of them actually from Millspin. I've got the cool black with the stainless, and it's both of them are the American flag. I was actually, when I first bought it at Tulsa, I bought the Glock logo, thinking that would be kind of cool. And then after I paid for it, I saw the one in the case that was they paint the stainless black, and then they mill it after it's been painted, so the stainless shows through, and it's got all 13 stripes, and then they're not star shaped, they're just the bit, just a plunge in and out. So instead of a star, it's just a dot, but there's 50 individual dots in the canton on the American flag on their back plates. So every one of those, the bit has actually plunged in and out 50 times, which I thought was cool because so many of those, the detail isn't there. And the fact that they actually made 50 individual plunges and then they also machined out, 13 individual stripes. I mean, it's really cool. So I got that one. And then about a year later, they came out with their all black edition. So I put that on because it's really nice. It doesn't draw the eye away from the rear sight at all now. It's upstairs where I'd show it to you guys, but you need to go check out. They've got a new line of shirts. I just got an email from them today, and they've got some new t-shirts out there. There's one of them that says "Get Off My Lawn," and it's got a Gadsden flag on it, and I haven't ordered it yet, but I think I'm going to twist my wife's arm into ordering maybe a pair of those for us so we can show those off on future 2A Tuesday chats, hopefully when we get those. They got some cool stuff, so go check out millspin.com. It was started by two brothers, Dana and Chet Peters from Ohio. They are Marines or former Marines. They are Marines. And
that's better.
And they've been on I can't think of the show now. It wasn't Shark Tank, but they've been featured on some news show like Today or something like that.
They were on Fox News, actually.
Was it Fox? Okay.
Yeah, like a morning show maybe. They talked about the product.
Fox and Friends maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. Anyway, they've been featured nationally. They had a quick segment on some of the stuff that they do. Very, very cool veteran-owned company, veteran-run company. They've only got a handful of employees. It's not a huge company, but they can turn out some cool stuff in not a lot of time. And anybody that wants custom work done, they'll make you a custom backplate. They charge you, of course, the setup fee, but it's not unreasonable. So, maybe down the road we'll see about getting like maybe a custom backplate done or something like that. Could be a good Christmas gift idea for my wife. I should tell her about it. Hi. So anyway, need to go check that out. That's the only thing I've done to my Glock is put that on there, and then I put the Talon grips on, and that's it. Everything else is stock. So, Squib, to your point, I'm not going to say that it's perfection because I don't think that human hands can create perfection, but other than when I was first shot at, like the first 2 magazines, I think I had 1 stovepipe in each magazine. Did some research. It could have either been new magazines or I maybe had just a little bit of a limp wrist on it or whatever. I haven't done it since then. Haven't had any issues. My wife has never had any issues with any kind of stovepiping on that gun. So it works. It's shot every kind of ammo that I've ever fed it. And that's all I expect from a gun. I don't care if it's Glock, Walther, Sig, Smith. I don't care. As long as it works every time you pull the trigger, then it's cool. I'm not saying that Glock's the only one to buy. I'm not going to say that you should stay away from any specific brand except for something Turkish or Sky. And I'm only going to say Sky because of Travis, so I have no experience with Sky. Maybe they go.
What can I say? It's got a long, arduous history with that company.
You heard it here first. If anybody wants to buy Travis a present, please get him something from Sky.
Yeah, I'd be willing to try the guns again, but every time I watch new reviews, people keep having the same problems that I had. So obviously, there's no innovation going on there.
Well, here's the thing: if you don't shoot it more than a couple hundred times in its lifetime, it's going to be fine.
That's the kind of gun with that trigger on it you need to practice if you want to hit anything with a nice hefty 12-pound trigger pull and double action only. And man, it's a beast. I mean, not that 1 or 2 rounds at close range. I'm sure anybody could pull that off, but wow, it's an experience. A little bit painful
Travis,
too. So,
yeah. I think you'd be better off with one of those Liberator pistols from World War II.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, no, like I said, the Sky was good for about the first 800 rounds or so, and then after that, I just fell apart. So,
let's see. Anything else going on in the chat that I've missed?
Yeah, Squib, I think I'd rather have a zip gun. So,
what's wrong with that? Just get yourself a bang stick. There you go for close quarter stuff.
Right on, man.
What was it? I was watching. What was I watching? Was it Sons of Guns or something like that? Where it was either Sons of Guns or it was actually something on Swamp People on like the first season. But they were trying to develop a bang stick to work on alligators instead of having to try and shoot them with their 22s.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it was a better deal, but they tested it, and I think they decided maybe to scrap their idea. But I don't remember if it was one of the actual gator fishermen, or are they fishermen or hunters? I'm not sure which. One of the gator harvesters on Swamp People, or if it was something from Sons of Guns when they were working with those guys. I'm not sure which, but you guys remember that show? Did you ever watch Sons of Guns? That was a cool show before we found out the guy was a Chimo.
I never got to watch it, and unfortunately, I
think
was it on Discovery Channel or History Channel? What was that on?
One or the other. I was on YouTube when I watched it.
And okay. I'm sure there's
liked it. Now,
around, but
one of the guys that was on that show is still active in the gun industry. His name is Joe Moe. It's Meaux, right? Joe Moe. And actually, on that show, he worked at the Red Jacket shop part-time, and he was a high school teacher. And then I think he quit teaching to go full-time at Red Jacket right before they kind of tanked. But then he's kind of apparently doing his own thing and kind of got his own brand out there now. And I don't know what they're actually building, but I've seen some stuff come through every now and then and seen his name attached to stuff at, I don't know, SHOT Show or something like that. So I know Joe's still out there. He was a cool guy. A lot of the people on that show seemed like they were kind of cool guys. And It just sucks that the owner, the founder of the company, who always acted like he was such a nice guy, ended up being convicted on child molestation charges. So that sucks.
Yep.
Let's see here. We've got 22s for varmints. What am I missing out there? Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking my if I could get a coyote in close enough, I'd like to do a coyote hunting sometime with my red dot on my 22, just to see if we could get something in close enough to where I could get that done. Does anybody else know who Randy Anderson is as far as varmint hunting, coyote calling goes? I just saw him the other day. If you've been around predator hunting at all, then you probably know the name Randy Anderson. He actually has a signature line of calls from primos that he designed over the course of several years. They would build something, send it to him, he'd test it, then send it back and say, okay, tweak this, tweak that, whatever. Because where are they, Mississippi or Alabama? And he's in Nebraska. He actually lives not too far from the home place. So, I've met the guy. He's a cool guy. And you can see him on The Truth a lot, Primo's TV show, The Truth About Hunting. He's got a lot of videos out there, both the Primo's Truth series, and he's got his own Calling All Coyotes series of videos. He got started long before he was ever nationally known. He just kind of got started around the area. Back when his camcorder was still VHS, he would set it up on a tripod between his knees and call the coyotes and then film them coming in, try to keep them in the viewfinder. And once they would stop, then he would pick up his rifle and take the shot. And he did everything all on his own to start with. And some of those early videos are my favorites just because it was, there was no production crew. There was nothing, just him and his camera and his rifle. Then he kind of got to where he actually had more fun calling for somebody else and letting them do the shooting. And then a lot of the landowners around would, go out there and he'd call coyotes in for them to shoot, and then he'd film. And it just kind of, he built up his brand doing that. So Randy's cool. I'd like to get together with him sometime up on the home place. And I don't know if I'm good enough shot to actually do him justice. And I don't know that I want to be on like TV missing coyotes all day long, but he's forgotten more about predator calling than I'll probably ever learn. I know that much. So maybe when it cools down this fall, I can put a call into him and see if he's got some time, one of these weekends over, December, January, something like that. Maybe we can get him over there.
Do you have any coyote callers at all, like any electronic callers or anything like that? Or
I've got a lot of Randy's calls upstairs in the drawer.
Okay.
Nothing electronic, and that's what he does so much now. Because Primo's sells the electronic ones, and he's kind of gotten to where he uses that a lot. And then he still has his own, his calls on him, but you can set the electronic one off, 50 yards away from you. Mm-hmm. And so the focus is there instead of on you because the sound's not coming from where you are. So that really helps too. But over the years, I've seen a lot of neighbors, a lot of people that I knew, or at least knew who they were, on his videos, on national TV, on Outdoor Channel, that kind of stuff. So it's been kind of cool. So I'd like to get him involved sometime and maybe get a video where I could do a little bit of filming here for the channel, and then we could shoot some coyotes. And he's a busy guy, so I don't know if I could ever get him to join a panel or not, but we could try that sometime. And then also, I haven't talked to him all summer, but if anybody ever watched Top Shot when that was on, one of the winners, season 4 winner, I think, was a youth camp pastor. Dustin Ellerman is his name. And I've actually come across him on Facebook, and he's a cool guy. He actually still responds to comments on his posts and stuff like that. He's not too big and not getting so many comments that he can't keep up and at least like them. If he doesn't respond to every one of them, usually he'll at least go through and like them. And I talked to him. I floated the idea of getting him on a chat sometime just to come say hi or whatever. And right now he's in the busy time of his year as a pastor at a youth camp. This is when he's got the youth in camp. So not going to happen until maybe this winter, but I'd like to maybe get that happening. So maybe we can have some a few bigger name people join us on our little podcast that 22 whole people are watching right now. So I think we were all the way up to 27 at one point.
So when you'd watch these videos and he would call in the coyotes, like what kind of a distance was he able to take the shots at? Are we talking 100 yards, less than 100 yards, or what?
I think the closest that he ever got was probably 10.
Oh my God, dude! Can you imagine that thing rolling up on you and you're sitting there? Oh, that'd be awesome.
And he's been doing this since.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's see. When I first learned about him, I might have still been in high school, or not far out of high school. He did his first video. He did all the production himself. He recorded. He wrote the theme song, recorded it, sang it himself. He's a very good singer. So he did all that himself, and I think you can still find it if you just do a Google search for Randy Anderson, coyote hunter or coyote caller, or I don't know. I got Google right here on my phone. Let's see. Calling all coyotes. I'm going to search that. It's the second hit. The first one's an ad from Amazon, and the second one's I think it's his website, callingcoyotes.com. I wonder if the computer will let me do this. Let's go check that out. Let's see here. I'm just going to see if I can do this and screen share, if I can get the website to load. Now we got to come back here and let's see if I do this. No, hold on. I think I pick that, and then I click there, and that's kind of cool. There's the website. So just callingcoyotes.com. Like I said, his calls come from Primos. He's got a phone number down there that you can actually order stuff right. And that's a Springview, Nebraska phone number.
That's crazy.
Same prefix as my dad. Yep.
Let's give him a call, man. Come on.
Yeah, at 10 o'clock at night. Let's just do that.
Yeah, office hours.
Let's see. DVDs, Calling All Coyotes series. Let's go in there. You can also, like I said, you can order his calls anywhere, Cabela's and Bass Pro and all that. Here's his very first one, Calling All Coyotes 1. Is that a DVD or is that DVD? $5.
Dude, that's almost worth it. You go take it up there and get an autograph.
I've got this upstairs, I think, so I'm not gonna buy it. But yeah, the first time my whole family knew him before I ever met Randy. But the first time I met him, he went out to his pickup and came in and handed me a couple DVDs. It was, one of these Truth Primos ones, and
yeah,
that's kind of cool. He's a good guy. He used to level dirt. Do dirt work. That was his business. And then he's kind of retired from that and still chases coyotes all around. And I don't know what he does in the off season. Probably travels around a lot to I don't know,
maybe trade shows and stuff like that, maybe, or outdoor shows. Yeah.
I don't know. The coolest thing, my one, I don't know if it's a really a claim to fame, but right after I met my wife, she was still living in Lincoln, and I was down in Lincoln visiting. So we're out goofing around town, whatever. We go down to Shields because it's Lincoln, and I don't live near a Shields. So I like to go there whenever I can. And we're just walking through the stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, that's cool. We end up going down the aisle with the Predator calling calls and all that stuff, all the gear. And I'm like, hey, I know this guy, Randy. And because, the calls are sitting there with his picture on the package, and then a lot of them come with an instructional DVD or one of the Truth DVDs or whatever packaged together there, so you can see his picture there. And she's like, it's not that she didn't believe me, but she didn't care. She wasn't into guns or hunting or any of that at the time. So I'm like, yeah, I know that guy. He's a cool guy. So we walk around the corner and bump into him. And he's there in Shields just doing his own shopping or whatever, talking to somebody. And recognized me, said hi. It was kind of cool. We walked away. I'm like, see? That was kind of cool. All right, let's stop sharing the screen. You guys can go to callingcoyotes.com if you care. Let's see here. A lot of people are shooting. They're talking about coyote calibers out there and stuff. A lot of people are shooting ARs at them. There's some of his videos where a couple guys have suppressed ARs. And I tell you what, when there's multiple coyotes come running in, you can hit doubles and triples pretty easy when the report from the rifle doesn't spook them and run them off. So that's kind of cool. Kind of cool to see. So, all right. Well, does anybody else have anything that they want to throw out before we start wrapping up? I've just been handed the list. So we can go through and say hi to everybody that said hi to us.
Well, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Just kind of be active, make sure you guys are paying attention to the politics out there right now.
We did lose Pickle here a while ago because he had to jump off the chat and go spend some quality time with his future bride to be. So thanks for being here, Calaveras 32 Special. I don't know if you're still listening or not, but we're glad to hear that you were here. Hey, Roll Call's out there saying he might be in Omaha. First of all, let us know when you're there, Roll Call, because we're only an hour and a half away or 2 hours away from Omaha. Depends on which side of Omaha. The zoo is amazing. Apparently, Omaha Zoo and San Diego Zoo kind of jockey back and forth for best zoo in the world, or at least in the country. I think in the world. Kind of like Apple and Samsung keep battling back and forth all year for top smartphone. Like for a while it's San Diego, for a while it's Omaha, for a while it's San Diego, for a while it's Omaha. Omaha's got an amazing zoo. It keeps getting better all the time. I've been to both. San Diego Zoo is nice. Omaha Zoo, if you actually want to see the animals and not have to walk 8 miles in between all the exhibits, Omaha's got it beat hands down. Plus, it's a lot closer for us.
Yeah.
They've got all kinds of cool stuff. I haven't been there since, let's see, early 2000 would have been. Yeah,
That's the one,
middle 2000.
That's the one that's by Kennefic Park.
It's the one that used to be by Rosenblatt Stadium, where the College World Series was always played. And then when they moved the College World Series across town to the new TD Ameritrade Park, they tore down Rosenblatt and expanded the zoo over into there. It's real close.
That's pretty good.
When you come across the river from Council Bluffs, when you're coming from Iowa, it's one of the first exits off of I-80 once you cross the river.
But it's right off the expressway.
Yep, right on the south side there. You can see it from the interstate. You can see parts of it.
It's where you've got the two Union Pacific locomotives.
Mm-hmm. It's just real close to there.
Right. Yep. Okay. I know where it's at.
Yep, and the reason those are there is because not a lot of people realize that Omaha is the home of Union Pacific. All right. Well, then we are going to roll things down real quick here. We'll go through the list and see who joined us tonight. We had Snob's Wife, Calaveras 32 Special was here, Mike, Josieola, G-Webs, Gun Loving Grandpa, Seven Wonders, Jason Stewart, Dangerous Freedom, Kingpin, D-Temp 62, Rob C, the Pearl Necklaces guy, Patriot in the Dark. I heard that Patriot is busy panic buying all the red dot sites and RMRs, so makes sense to me. Sean Callanan, also known as Mr. Taurus, first name Clint. Frankie's Guns and Glitter, William Keller, Gizzard Gary holding it down in the chat. What's up, Gary? I didn't even say hi to you. Dead Horse, Jim Burgess, Mad Sexy, Poor Conservative, Strange Hank, not to be confused with Hank Strange. 9mm Blue Steel 44, Streetport 13B the 4th. Is that what that is? I don't think I know that name. Welcome, Streetport. Vandal was in the house. Weston Probst. I don't think I've seen Weston before either, so welcome. Zorro 117. What's up, Mr. Fox? Kinky Sphincter, Midnight Range TM. Ozzy was here barking at the moon. Vanessa Kitty's out there in the house. Patrick Blitz, General Relativity, and is it Hunan? Hunan, my boyfriend's back. And you're going to be in trouble. That is everybody on my list. If we missed you, that and roll call too in the house. I don't think we called roll call out. If we missed anybody, it's because you didn't talk enough and we missed your comments. So make sure you leave those comments. If you like these chats, please share them. Get everybody that you can find to join us for the live chats. We're going to do these again every week, 9 o'clock Central Time. That's 10 Eastern or 8 Mountain. And if you're on the left coast, 7 o'clock. And I never can figure out Hawaiian time. So if it's 7 o'clock p.m. on the West Coast, then it's whatever time all y'all in Hawaii are on out there. It's 2 or 3 more hours earlier yet. And I don't know about Alaska either, because I think Alaska is actually different than California, or parts of it. Okay, so we're going to let everybody say goodnight. We didn't forget about your roll call. We still love you. Don't cry. Somebody give roll call a hug.
Come to Omaha, roll call. We'll give you lots of hugs.
That's right. That's right. We'll just put you in a big old bro hug.
Bear hug. There you go.
And be sure and let us know when that happens, because it would suck that you're only a couple hours away and we didn't get to say hi. So let us know when you come to Nebraska. And Travis is spending a lot of time, only an hour from Omaha now. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I'm in Lincoln, let me just give me an hour's notice, man. I can be there.
Yeah.
Roll call, if you're headed out that way, either on the way in or the way back, stop at Brownells. It's in Grinnell, Iowa, right off of I-80.
Yep. Hey, speaking of stopping at places, Travis, I think we're going to make a stop into Don's Hobby Guns this weekend because we're going to Kearney.
Oh.
So we got a dance down in Kearney this weekend that we're going to DJ.
Nice.
And so I think we're going to try to get to town early enough on Saturday. We can stop and see Don because he's not open on Sunday. So.
Well, if you don't mind going 20 minutes west, I'm actually going to be driving a pickup truck for my buddy for the car show in Elm Creek, just down the highway there.
Oh, really? What time's that?
It's all day on Saturday. Oh. He's got multiple antique vehicles, and so he wants me to drive one of his vehicles to enter it in the car show that they're doing there. Cool. They got a pretty good-sized car show. Got probably close to 100 cars, if not more. I'd say definitely more than that. Small town car show goes from like 8 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's a lot of fun. Cool.
We'll have to see. I doubt we'll have time to do anything. And yeah. I mean, it's only 15 minutes over to Elm Creek, but time we get there, do a couple things, go set up, go check into the hotel, change our clothes, and we got to be back up at
DJ
the venue by I think 4:30. So
I gotcha. That's all good.
So yeah. Plus, I mean, it takes us about 3.5 hours to get down there from here. So So yeah. Now, if you get bored and you want to make the trip to Kearney, let me know.
I would
in your classic pickup.
No, it's not mine. It's actually my buddy's. It's got to be in the show. So I don't think
I
don't think he'd like it. It's actually his son's truck. His kid's not old enough to drive, so I'm driving it.
It's even better. It's not your gas. It's not your vehicle. It's not your mileage. Just come on over.
I know. I should.
All right, cool. Well, we will let Travis sign off. Make your shameless plugs, and where can we find you? What do we need to know about you, sir?
I don't really have much of an internet presence, so I'm sorry if you don't ever, look something up on YouTube and you can't, there's no content for me on it. No, I'm just kidding. Check me out over on YouTube channels, Travis P11, and you can find me over on Gunstreamer, YouTubeGunchannels.com, and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all over the place, man. Lots of content coming your way, and hopefully I'll get my podcast up and running in about 2 weeks.
Sweet. Thanks for being here.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Kingpin, thanks for being with us tonight and hanging out, even though it's super late where you are.
Oh, man, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I do want to say real quick, I'm going to put a link out in the chat to a video from Big Al. If you know Big Al from, the Reloaders Network and gun channels and stuff like that, he's a really good dude, and he's put out a video. He's in the hospital again. He didn't say what's going on, but if you know Big Al, you know he's had a little bit of a rough patch with his health. So it's like a 40-second long video. Go check out the video and tell him you're thinking about him. You know, and if you don't know him, go over and check out his channel.
Cool. All right, we will go do that too. And I think I just clicked on that link. I gotta make sure it doesn't autoplay. It tried. Okay, there we go. All right. Yes, go check that out. Give Al some love. Sounds like he's a cool guy. I don't know who he is, but if Kingpin says he's cool, then I say he's cool. All right. Thanks for being here, David. And Squib, thanks for joining us. What is it that Budget always says? Lovable but irascible Squib Load?
Yeah. Yeah.
You rapscallion, you.
I'm irascible. Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. My definition of Squib Load is he's a nice guy once you get to know him. Now, I said that because I've, for many years, said whenever somebody says he's a nice guy once you get to know him, you can usually figure that's code for he's an a-hole, but you'll get used to it. I'm not calling you an a-hole.
No, that's more accurate. Thank you, because I was cringing when you said that. I was actually getting a little nauseous. I might have thrown up in my mouth a little, but then when you made that more accurate description, it's like, okay, I feel normal again. When my blood pressure came down. And
those of you who are single fellas or at least have been sometime in your life, when somebody's like, well, she's got a great personality, then you know that maybe that's all she's got going and doesn't have as much in the looks department. When people try to set you up with people, well, it's kind of the same thing. When you hear he's a nice guy once you get to know him, that's code. It's code for he's an a-hole, but you'll get used to it.
Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. That's the story of my life. Yeah, I appreciate the invite. I'm glad you're back. Not really. I kind of liked having some time. See what I mean?
Wow.
No, actually,
love you too, bro.
You and Travis and a few other people have either had some stuff going on or there's been issues with the whole, StreamYard or other platforms. And plus summers are busy. So some people have skipped some shows and I haven't been putting out videos. I've been recording them, but I go to edit them and it's like, oh, this is garbage. And I just pitch them. And so I think based on just a couple of years of doing this, that I'm determining that summers are just really not good for YouTube stuff. But I'm glad it's not just me. Yeah, glad you're back, and I'll pop in from time to time when you got room for me. And
awesome.
Just keep the subjects coming. You always got something interesting to talk about.
Seems like there's always something in the world that is interesting to talk about, and even though we don't typically dive too deep into the headlines of the day or of the week, because there's so many other live streams every week that do that. Sometimes those inspire us to cover, specific topics. So, I've been putting some videos out recently. If anybody's been watching, especially talking about, the red flag laws that have been back in the news again lately, with even the president saying that, maybe those aren't such a bad thing. And Representative Crenshaw in Texas, apparently selling us up the river. And I'm still not convinced that didn't happen. I'm still not convinced that he's not wrong. Because I think he is. I think he's 100% wrong. I still can't get behind any law where, number one, we don't go through due process, and don't tell me it's built in, because that court date without facing your accuser is not due process. You shouldn't be the only one not invited to that party. If you're the one that they're actually talking about, you should be there. And then also, I don't see the point in taking guns out of the house if this person's dangerous. I really do think we should lock them up. And I understand the concept that is unconstitutional and that we cannot lock them up without them committing a crime, which brings me back to my point. Why can we take their stuff away if they haven't committed a crime then? How is that constitutional? It's not. So that being said, you can watch the videos, go check them out. You can find us here on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. We've pretty well dialed back from any other social media, just those two places. but we do try to keep the posts going there. We are almost to the point where I think by Christmas time we're going to have more Facebook. I can't talk. I can't mouth today. More Facebook followers than we have YouTube subs. So maybe that's just because people are. It's easier to share stuff on Facebook. I'm not sure what's going on there. We may try to split our time evenly between YouTube and Facebook on the live chats. I'm not sure what's going to go on yet. Their multi-streaming could be a thing. It's not something that StreamYard does yet. If they add that, we'll take a long look at actually paying for StreamYard. But that may or may not happen anytime soon. However, like this, share it. If you haven't subscribed and you're watching this, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube and go check us out on Facebook. I know that the powers that be say there's not a lot of cross-pollination between YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, any of that. You know, you typically have certain people that are only on one and not the rest of them. But I say that we can buck the trend. We can get cross-pollination. So those of you that have Facebook, go like us on Facebook, please. Those of you that know people on Facebook, share us there and ask them to come over here to YouTube and subscribe over here too. And maybe we can grow everything. I still have a giveaway that I want to do, but we've got to get to some more subscribers on YouTube and Gunstreamer. We're not even to 100 yet. So until that hits 200, I'm not giving away stuff. And I've got stuff. I keep buying stuff every now and then. We've got knives to give away. We've got some rem oil. I don't know if I can mail that. We might have to do UPS on that one. We've got some literature, some swag packs. There's going to be some patches that come off the patch wall that go into the giveaway. All kinds of good stuff. I don't know what all's going in it yet. Depends on actually depends a lot of it on Patreon too. But you can check us out here. You can check us out on gunstreamer.com, patreon.com. You can support the channel if you want to over there. So that part is cool too. If you like what you see and you want to throw some money our way, great. We'll put it to good use to improve the equipment here or add some stuff to the giveaways. If you don't want to support us, absolutely, that's fine too. You can do it without spending any money. Just share the link here and get us out in front of more people. If you think that what we say in here makes sense, then maybe somebody else will too. If you think that what we say in here is completely wrong, then let us know. You can always come tell us. I love discussing things with people who don't believe what I believe. I think it's healthy when my beliefs are challenged because one of two things is going to happen. Number one, my beliefs are only going to be strengthened if you challenge my beliefs. And if I have to defend what I believe with logic, facts, things like that, you're only going to strengthen what I believe. Or number two, you're going to shed some light on things. Show me perspectives I've never considered before. Maybe I'll find a few holes in my theories, and then I will change my beliefs a little bit and re-solidify things even stronger that way. Either way, it's healthy for me to have my beliefs challenged. If anybody thinks that your beliefs should not be challenged, then you probably don't believe what you believe, or you don't know why you do. So you're not that strong in your beliefs to begin with. So we always welcome that as a discussion option. Anybody that wants to come in, debate me on any topic, or I shouldn't say debate. Debate means you're trying to win something. Discuss means that you're both just trying to share your point of view, right? Anybody's welcome to come discuss any topic, whether you agree with me or not. We don't have to have a panel of people. You won't get ganged up on. But I love that kind of opportunity, and I want to invite people in to have those discussions in a place where they're not going to get jumped all over. So if you're not sure, you can trust me on that. Go back and watch some of our other chats. The abortion one was a big one. You can kind of see that nobody really got ganged up on in there because we won't allow it. And since then, with Hangouts being gone, we've had to streamline the way that we do stuff anyway. So if you don't want to do that, you maybe know somebody who would be willing. Share this with them. Let them know about it. Tell them what's going on. Go back through, watch any of the old live chats, any of the old videos that are up on the channel. And like I said, tell us if you like it. Tell us if you don't like it. come on in anytime. The door is always open to sit down and have a discussion. With that, we're going to call it. Double A just got here. Wow, Double A, you're kind of like a blister showing up when all the work's already over. We are just going to say good night. So go check out the video that Kingpin posted over there in the chat. Thank you, Calaveras, Squib, Travis, Kingpin, for being here with us. Thank you to my co-pilot for life, my hot date for life, Sandhills Sweetheart, for holding things down in the chat and making me look like I know what I'm doing. And you guys all have a great week. We'll see you here, same bat time, same bat channel. Next week, Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Central Time for 2A Tuesday. We'll figure out a good topic. It could be home defense. So we'll see what happens there. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. God bless you. We love you.
Goodbye, Felicia.
Get off my lawn.
Adios, Felicia.